is the song I sing while I wait for YouTube to start sending my signal through the streaming service. It's not a streaming service. What do I have? I have streaming software. I don't have streaming service. And then I wait to see if I'm live. I think I'm live. So now I stop my song that you get to hear little bits of if it starts streaming before I think it's streaming. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Bonnie Gillespie. I have no clue what today's live stream is about. I thought a couple of weeks ago that I was going to do today on annual profections because I haven't talked about those in a while, and that's a fun like timekeeping thing. It's something that runs alongside your birthday. So like on your birthday each year, you move into a different profection year, and I've been having a profoundly real 8th house profection year. Like the examples are so freaking literal, like wow. And I just realized, have you hugged yourself today? Even if you have, do it again because it feels good. Get grounded, be present. Happy Taurus season. Hello, moon dust. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining me today on such short notice. It is lovely to see you. Get that shadow side. I got text messages yesterday letting me know that one of my brothers is in hospice care and at the stage where they're reminding everyone that there's a do not resuscitate order. And so here I am going, yes, let's do profections. Let's talk about how, like, because I had a big financial thing that happened, which is a big 8th house event, a financial thing that is out of my control. It was student loan related. And that was going to be the it is so exact sometimes when you have annual profections as a map for the kinds of things you're going to be experiencing that year. And then I'm like, 8th house is also death. Yeah, we're going to be losing one of my brothers soon. And my cousin reminded me this is the first of our generation. So in the side of the family that I share with the cousin that I'm closest with, this is my cousin Joni. She may join us in the chat. My cousin Joni, she and I are like siblings in that we're really tight, and we always have been. She is my aunt's kid. And with my mother, my aunt, and my uncle, all from the grandmother's side of the family that I lived with, Cleo, my Rosie the Riveter grandmother. We have this collection of kids that starts with my oldest brother, who's not the one in hospice, and it goes all the way down to the baby of the family. It's me. That's me. So between my oldest brother and me, we have all the rest of the kids from my uncle and my aunt packed in there. And so my cousin Joni reminded me that when my brother goes, that'll be the first of our pack. I know, it's a reminder of just this whole human experience is in a lot of ways out of our control. I'm not close with my brothers. They are so much older than I am that we're of different generations, and we didn't grow up like siblings grow up together. They did. The two of them grew up together. And then they were out of the house when I was born. So they were more like uncles or cousins in my life most of the time. And sometimes they were like strangers. So, Anyway, yes, there's definitely emotion involved there, and the profections topic is so good. You are entering a new profection year on Sunday. Happy birthday, Moondust. Would you like to take a look at your experience of the perfected year you just completed? Hi, Emily. Thank you for joining us live. So glad you're here. We're talking about annual perfections. We're talking about, you have one brother 12 years older than me. Yeah, I mean, and there's a generation gap with that. My oldest brother turned 18 right after I was born. So like, yeah. And so if you're like, well, wait, then the one that was younger than that should have still been at home. He dropped out of high school and was on tour with his band. So they like, yeah. Eighth house, Libra Sun, Mercury, feel you. Yeah, that eighth house perfection. It's got some literal stuff. Let's look at the woo weather for a sec. Let me see if my share screen works. I think I set everything up right. Y'all tell me. This is the woo of the now. Oh, and I got to remember to show y'all I'm wearing a new protest shirt. The way that I do a lot of my activism is in t-shirts, and I got one that was on super sale. You know how Etsy will do that. You put something in your cart or list it as a favorite, and then they email you and say, you've just received a coupon for half off, and it's good for 10 hours. And I was like, sold. And so I got me a like $15 t-shirt. I'm very excited. It's super soft, but I'm excited to show you what it says. Anyway, look at the woo of the now. You know, we still have this party in Aries. It's not quite as packed as it looks here because I have some extras turned on, and the midheaven is a part of this story right here, just based on what time it is here and what that sets the rising at. But we do have Neptune, Saturn, Mars, Chiron still all in Aries. And so even though we are in this gorgeous, lovely Mercury Sun in Taurus, slowing things down and giving us a little breathing room around things, we do have Venus over here in Gemini going peppy, 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 pep, 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 pep. Venus is like pew, shooting way far out in front of the sun. Because she's going to go retrograde in a couple of months. And when she does, she likes to be way out ahead, and then she'll swoop back around and get behind the sun. And she does that every 18 months. We also have right now, Moon has just climbed over Pluto over here in Aquarius. So if you were having trouble sleeping, that could be why. Moon in Aquarius already pretty chatty, but climbing over Pluto, that's a big ask, you know, because Pluto is now retrograde, which means all that energy for Pluto's transformation and burn it to the motherfucking ground, tower card vibe, is all baked into that inner reflective work that we're doing for the next few months. And of course, the moon climbing over that means we're getting that very close in vibe of the moon and how we get our needs met and how we feel safe, having to deal with that big powerful Pluto energy to get over there. So there's just a lot. There's a whole lot with all of this. And we're actually in right now a month where we're getting a bit of a break from some of the more drastic woo weather of 2026. You know, the biggie was April. The biggie that we've experienced so far was April. Wow, did that woo weather do the most. And it was as advertised. It absolutely did all the things. And July is going to say, hold my beer. July is not playing around. We got, like, while the cardinal signs are where the sun is at, we are having some big woo weather. And I got to get the lumpiness out of my hair, or this high pony is not going to help me at all. I will change to just a messy pile on top of my head if I can't get this slick back. This is why you need to have octopus number hands in order to properly do a ponytail, because you got to get it like flattened. See, and as soon as I made it like that, I created a bump. If I had more hands. Okay. Let's get it. Maybe if I bring it higher up. Y'all, seriously. What is a live stream with me if I'm not playing with my hair? I don't know. Seriously? Bonnie. Dude. All right. We're going to go for the loose pile up, because then it doesn't have to have the lumps out. It is, in fact, a feature, not a bug. There. Better? No, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, t-shirt. If it's nothing, then why is it redacted? Let's pull my shirt up over my face. That's the new shirt. I'm very excited. Let's see what we got. Yes, love it. Finishing my 9th house year. It has been a wild year, but I'm not totally sure how it applies to 9th house topics. Okay, great. Let's do it. What asteroids / glyphs have you added? Hey, Rain, thank you for joining us. Yeah, okay, let me show you what I've added. And I actually have even more that I turn on sometimes. But so this one is Eris. And I turn that on when I'm working with Rachel Lang. She and I partner up for a mastermind that meets once a month. You're welcome to join us if you would like to do astrology deep thoughts with 2 astrologers once a month. We meet on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. Just let me know if you want info on how to get into that group. It is a small group, and we hot seat everybody every meeting because it is a small group, but we always have extras turned on when I'm meeting with Rachel because she loves to look at these goddess asteroids and fixed stars, and less fixed stars, more the goddess planets and asteroids. Those are pretty important to her. This right here, we have Algol turned on. That is a fixed star that lives at 26 Taurus, and the reason that's turned on is because that is a big factor in Cheeto and Chief's death chart. It's a big factor in his life chart as well, but it is something that we keep an eye on when things are activating Algol, and that is a beheading fixed star. There's no better way to say it. And it was activated by, I think, Mars when there was the first assassination attempt back during campaign times. This one is Sedna. And that's another one that Rachel loves to look at. These are powerful goddess, warrior strength stuff for just how we're going to move forward with the collective and lead with a more feminine, or at least non-patriarchal model. And so those are really exciting spots to turn on and take a look at. Hygeia, this one is for me. This one is not one. I don't know. Rachel may turn this one on too, but this one is I always have Hygeia on, because Hygeia in your chart is where you look for how natural healing works for you, how you keep yourself healthy before going to the doctor. It's yes, we can go to the doctor, get a prescription, get worked on by experts, but there's also a level that we can do in terms of self-care and what it is that allows us to do preventative medicine, and that's Hygeia. And Hygeia, I think, is on about 6-year cycles to go all the way around. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Well, hell, let's look. How long does it take Hygeia to get back to the same place? We're going to go. Hygeia is currently in Cancer. So let's see. Next we'll be in Cancer in 2031. Yeah, that's right. So Hygeia is about a 6-year cycle. And I love keeping up with her. And where she was in your birth chart says a lot about what kinds of activities will do the most for you in terms of natural healing. And for some signs, it's Hygeia doesn't do well here. And so we go, great. I know that I'm going to need to outsource a lot of my health stuff to experts, depending on what you do. I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV or the internet or anywhere else, really. Okay. I also, of course, have the nodes turned on, both the South Node and the North Node being where our destiny is set in this lifetime, and the South Node being the karmic drain of stuff that we've already dealt with in previous lives. And if you don't believe in past lives, then it's just karmic stuff from the buildup of early life stuff. And then we spend this life moving from South Node, easy to do, not great for us, drains our energy, over to the North Node, which could be harder to do at first because it's the less practiced thing, but it is what this life's quest is about. I should probably do a live stream on the nodes at some point. Maybe I'll do that before as they are changing axis, because that will happen in July of 2026. So that's coming soon. And then the last extra that I have turned on is sweet, gorgeous Lilith. Black Moon Lilith, I think, is also on a 6-year cycle. Am I remembering that right? Let's look. Lilith is currently in Sagittarius and will next be there in... We're taking a long time to get there. 2034. So more like 8 years. Okay. Cool. Cool. Boy, Lilith takes some time to get mathed up in here. Back and forth. When was the time before that? 2025. Yes. And then before that was going back, 2017. Yeah. So an 8-year cycle for Lilith. Yep. Okay. So anyway, those are the extras that I have turned on. And let's take a look. So Moon Dust, you were in a 9th house perfection year. And what is your rising? I know, but remind me. And I'm going to move the chart around to just show what that would look like for your 9th house. And I know that there's a delay in my talking and you typing because live stream got to go through some pockets of the internet. While I am waiting for the chat to come up to speed with me, I will share. I have a new playlist that I have made public on YouTube that is independent journalists and some humorists, because my God, we have to laugh, sharing about the news of the day and things that are important to be aware of and to understand the implications of, like the Voting Rights Act being disassembled and other nonsense like abortion drugs being banned and so blah, 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 all the human rights rollbacks that we're experiencing here in the United States. So I have a playlist that is, you could stay plugged in without losing your mind. And I will drop that. I can't drop the link in the chat because the chat will not take links. I will add that link to the description of this video so that you can keep up with that playlist. And the cool thing in the playlist, I think I can show y'all. YouTube. Look at Bonnie's YouTube channel. She is live streaming right now. Oh, she's got 4 notifications. I will have to come back and see what all those are. Playlist. Okay. So the playlist here, stay plugged in, don't spin out. This is the playlist. And here's what I want to show you. I have turned on upvote and downvote so you can watch these videos and then decide if you think, yeah, that belongs on this playlist, or, Bonnie, I don't really need to see stuff like this on this playlist. So it's not that you like what's in it and you don't like what's in it. It's that, does this go on the playlist? And by doing upvote, downvote on any of these, what's going to happen is over time, I mean, only 9 people know about this playlist until I'm doing this live stream, and now a few more know about it. I have it sorted by top voted, which means this playlist will eventually have the things that people have decided are most relevant to this playlist up top, and then down at the bottom will be the things that I can start moving away and off the playlist because they are not being as helpful as the rest of the stuff on the playlist. Like right now I've got 3 different Caitlyn Jenner, didn't know the leopards would eat your face takes, because I have 3 different takes that were all coming at it from slightly different angles, and I put them all on here. Like maybe I don't need that. And if you're like, I don't know about the Caitlyn Jenner leopards eating the face news, you can go in here and watch literally a 1-minute 35-second video and be like, cool, I'm now up to speed. So that was the idea behind that. All right, cool. All right, so let's go now. You have Leo rising. What? So we're having Leo rising right now in this chart. So we're just going to stick with what we got. So you got an Aries 9th house. All right. So what this means is in annual Profections, and I will do either a new webinar or a whole live stream on Profections. I know I'm also going to be doing one on Chiron moving into Taurus for the first time since Chiron was discovered. And then we are going to take a look at the changing of the nodes, and also the, what else? There was one more thing that was on my list. My upcoming, oh yes, Leo, Jupiter moving into Leo. That's definitely on my list. Okay, all right. So, all right, let's talk about this. Profections. This is not a whole talk on profections, but let me first give you a little context, and then we'll take a look at the chart specifically for Moondust, who is finishing a ninth house profection year. And the reason that finishing the year is a great time to look at, so this is the kind of stuff that happens when I'm in a profection year of this particular house, and then that helps you as you move into the next house understand the kinds of things to look for. So here's how it works. There is a timing technique that is from ancient astrology, Hellenistic astrology, long back astrology. You have to use whole sign houses for this method, and you don't have to use whole sign houses in general for your understanding of your natal chart, but to use this method, you do have to be in whole sign houses because that's what the method is predicated on. And so it sets one house with each year of your life and then goes around the wheel. And probably from the way you're watching me, it goes this way. It goes from the house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 1, and it starts over at 1. That one is where your rising is. That one each time starts off a new 12-year cycle. And there are some astrologers who will further break down that year into the 12 houses. And then there are people who will even break it down into like way more. Let me show you in this astrological software here that if I wanted to take a look at Profections, where are we? Profections. Like right now, we could say that this chart of the now has a 12-year cycle that starts today, May 8th, 2026, and then it has these 12 years that take place, one in each house, and then it starts a new 12-year cycle on May 8th of 2038, and then goes through the same 12, like one house per year. But this one also breaks it down into months, that you could take each month of the year and map it to a house in your chart. And you can also take it out farther than that. You could seriously get micro with this if you really like zooming in. But in general, we're going to do just the year. What it means is that in your 0 year, you are in a first house profection year. So this is where you can't just go, first house is a 1 year. No, the first house is a 0. You are 0 years old. It is the time from when you are born until you turn 1. And then when you turn 1, you are in a second house profection year. When you turn 2, you are in a third house profection year, and so on. Okay, so that means when you turn 12, you're back to a first house profection year. When you turn 24, you are back to a first house profection year. When you turn 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, and we'll end there. I mean, we don't have to. After 108 would be 120. But you get the point. All right. So what that means is while you are in a profection year of any particular house, and this is why your rising sign is so important, it is the ruler of the sign of that house that is going to be a significant player in how your year goes, how things feel, and how things will be experienced. And so for Moondust to be coming out of a ninth house profection year with Leo rising, that means we've had Aries as the sign of that ninth house, which is always true for Moondust's natal chart. But in this year from birthday to birthday, so it's almost over, this year is almost over for Moondust, Mars has been the ruler of the energy because Mars rules Aries. And so what that means is we look at how's Mars doing? We want to know, how is Mars in your natal chart? Is Mars in detriment, fall? Those are essential dignities. You know, like when I say something's in the Beyonce placement, that's when something is exalted. If Mars in your natal chart is in great shape, that's going to be a little bit better for you in a Mars ruled year because you already have a natal Mars that knows how to rock. But if you, like me, have a sad, not happy, waterlogged Mars in Cancer, then when you're in a Mars ruled year, you got issues because your Mars does not have that kind of strength. And then also we want to look at how's that planet doing while I'm in that perfection year. And so while moon dust has been in this 9th house perfection year, Mars has been trucking along through Capricorn earlier this year or late last year. Capricorn is where Mars is exalted, and so that's the Beyonce placement, which is great. But Mars right now, as you're finishing this year of profection, you have Mars in Aries, which it rules, and so it's like it's come home. Mars ruling your year, whatever house this is, whatever, wherever you have Aries or Scorpio, because we do use traditional rulership as well, a Mars ruled year is going to be more action takey. It's going to be more, I feel like I have to go, go, go. Like there just is this energy of, I don't really want to spend a lot of time working out the math of it. I just got to go. Especially Aries, I got shit to do. And I don't need to work too hard to figure out what might happen. It's all fuck around. It's no find out. And so in a 9th house, specifically perfection year, we're going to be dealing with issues that are specific to the 9th house. And what are those? International travel, international language study, international friends. There's an awful lot of higher education themes in the 9th house. If you're not necessarily doing international travel or connecting with people that you would describe as international people, this could also be immigrant population and activism around that, if we're thinking about the world today. And the kinds of things that may have a lot of your attention. But higher education, publishing, being in academia at all. So this can be, getting published. It can be working with attorneys. It can be working with psychiatrists, psychologists. It can be working with astrologers. Astrology and religion and cults and all sorts of fun stuff can show up in the 9th house. And so it's one of those houses, kind of like the 8th, where it's like a lot of stuff is there. And it's just a matter of what of that pops for you. And so that's why when I was saying like, wow, I've had a really literal 8th house perfection year because of the money stuff that I've been dealing with that has been out of my control. And then, of course, to get the news today about my brother, I'm like, and there's the death. I remember when Keith was in an 8th house perfection year, we got a couples reading, and I said, who's going to die? And the astrologer was like, no, somebody doesn't have to die every time you're in an 8th house perfection year. And I was like, okay, but when you're in a 4th house perfection year. And she was like, okay, seriously, you're listening way too much to the Hellenistic astrology. And you got to remember, and this is my cute little saying for it. I don't know how cute it is because, grandma, Hellenistic is hella negative. Like it's always going to go to what's the worst that can happen. That's just the way that astrological mode and mood was. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. And so I'll ask you, Moondust, have you been a little more focused on like action taking and specifically any of the areas of interest or travel or experiencing things that are outside of your usual, like doing a pursuit of higher learning, going on trips, things like that? I would love to know. Your Mars is in Leo in the 1st. So also that means that you have had a trine right now between between your Leo Mars and the transiting Aries Mars, where it is right now. But that also means that you always have your Mars feeding good energy to that Aries house because of that trine in your natal chart. So that's actually really good. The biggest theme this year has been confidence building in my career. I love that. Stepping out of my comfort zone. My manager and an outside mentor have been working with me all year on developing my leadership skills. Okay, Moondust, that is 9th house. Without working with an attorney, working with a psychologist, psychiatrist, working with an astrologer, working with religious leaders, like that relationship of there is someone above me in this pursuit that I'm on that is going to be helpful to me. That is a big 9th house signature. So no promotions yet, but I've definitely made myself more visible at work, which is naturally uncomfortable for me. Okay, Leo rising, you got to fire that up. And my manager is trying to create a position for me specifically. Okay, perfect, because you're moving into a 10th house perfection year this weekend. for your birthday. You will move into a 10th house perfection year. And of course, that is going to be big Venus energy in your 10th house, which is Taurus. And even though Taurus will move a little slower in terms of how things happen, especially when you've had a year of Aries stuff going on and Mars ruled energy, you will be focused on 10th house issues. 10th house is career, public reputation, ambition, how people see you in your leadership role. And I believe you will see those opportunities start to show up because you've been laying the groundwork all year in your 9th house perfection year. I love this. I don't think I've ever looked into my perfection year reign. It is so much fun. I have not a live stream. I have a webinar that is called You're Not the Boss of Me. And if you go to my Teachable space, which is Bonnie Gillespie.teachable.com/courses, you will be able to take that for free. My library. Okay, Bonnie, let's learn something today. Explore additional, view all products. Okay, we're going to look for what do I want you looking at here? Oh my gosh, there's so many things. There's so many things. Okay, this is the one. You're Not the Boss of Me. This one, Annual Perfections Made Easy. This is a great webinar. Highly recommend. And it's totally free. Do this one. Go do this one and you will get a really good overview with a workbook with lots of cool stuffs about annual perfections. Okay? Go for that. Go for that. But it is so much fun to use as a timekeeping device. And just for me knowing, okay, this planet is the ruler of my energy this year from birthday to birthday. And this house is where that attention is going to be focused, really helps me. Because then when something like the big student loan issue hit this year for me, I was like, this year, birthday to birthday, I was like, of course, because I'm in an 8th house perfection year, and 8th house is other people's money and situations with money that you do not control. And also just from an entrepreneurship space, my business has been in a complete funhouse mirror state compared to what it has been for the decade before this. And so it's a really cool way to look at the energy of it all. And in that webinar, you'll see like a map of like what all of the energies are. And remember, you're combining your natal chart with what that means the sign is going to be for that particular house and its ruler. You want to look at where that ruler is in your natal chart. And you also want to consider how is that ruler of that house doing this year in the woo weather. And so like if you're in a Saturn ruled year right now, well, Saturn by transit is currently in the sign of his fall. Daddy Saturn does not like being in Aries, and he's there for a couple of years. And so you could be in a Saturn ruled year, but it doesn't feel very Saturnian because Daddy Saturn's having to deal with all that Aries energy. So those are just some bits of nuance to take a look at. Oh yeah, my Chiron is in my Leo first house too. Oh, okay, sweetie. Now I understand. Yeah, okay, so stepping out of your comfort zone, absolutely. Just know that every time you are doing something brave, you are working on healing that Chiron relationship. Yeah, probably why it's naturally uncomfortable to be visible. Yep, absolutely. And by the way, this is something that we don't talk enough about. With Leo rising charts, you have Cancer in the 12th house. And the 12th house is the mental health side of things. It is the shadow work. It's the place where you can go on loop in less healthy ways. It's also the house of imprisonment and systems that make us feel like we're trapped or imprisoned. Like there are lots of things, lots of features to the 12th house. It's another one where we just threw a lot of different things into it. But for Leo rising in particular, because you have a Cancer 12th house, that worry of I'm going to get something wrong, it may not be safe for me to step out on stage. And here I have all this big Leo first house energy that says, go be seen. But meanwhile, I've got this 12th house Cancer going, nope, worry about it a big lot, and worry about everybody else and their response to it. We don't talk about that enough when it comes to Leo rising, and that is a big feature of a Leo rising chart. Yes, big personality, lots of energy, so good at hugs, and also worry, like on loop. So that's a big for real. Emily says, I'm currently in 6th house, Leo perfection year. So you've got the sun guiding your year. So that's good for vitality and energy and feeling more embodied and being seen. All of that kind of stuff can be really, really prominent in a sun-ruled year. Hoping the visit from Jupiter later on will make things lighter because we know my natal sun ain't happy in the 8th house. Yeah, baby, I know. Emily, definitely the Jupiter moving to Leo thing is going to be big when it comes to the stuff that is going to be revealed that is not set up for us to do well. So these are the kinds of things that will be exposed. Jupiter coming to Leo is big, expose, emperors wearing no clothes energy out in the collective. What is it going to be for you? It is going to be something that gives you a lot more completely irrational optimism. Yay. I love that for you. I want more of us to have completely irrational optimism, you know? What is it? The saying, to have the confidence of a mediocre white man. Like, you know, like the rest of us don't have that level of certainty that everything's going to go well. We all get a little bit of that when Jupiter comes to town. So that'll be nice. Yes. Mentor absolutely can work for 9th house. Yeah. Well, because remember, we look to the 9th house for people who are in roles of authority in areas that we want to study. So a lot of people see the 9th house as a big academic year. It is. Like, a lot of people go back to grad school in a 9th house year. A lot of stuff happens in the 9th house around travel, and specifically international travel, experiencing new things. And traveling can involve having a guide, having booked your travel through somebody who is telling you these are the places you're going to want to go, getting there and having someone that you buddy up with who will show you the places. Like, having that mentor absolutely can be a feature of the 9th house, especially one that you trust and that you feel really connected with, and you know that they are taking you to a higher place for you. Absolutely, that works. Yep. Excellent. So glad. In my library, there was the intention to watch it. I guess I never got to it. Well, maybe you go get that, at least get that workbook, if not watch it this weekend. I have taken to watching things while I'm in the bath. And I know I shouldn't multitask. I should just like soak in the tub and enjoy soaking in the tub and relaxing. But Mala Beads, are you the best good boy? I just had to ask. Are you the best good boy? You are? You're the best good boy? Are you the best good boy? You are? Oh, that's a big stretch. Oh, yes, you're the best good boy. Yes, you are. Oh, what a good boy. Yes, you are. Okay, I gotta give a scritch. Okay, good boy. Yes, you are such a good boy. I had to give a scritch. Oh gosh, yes, that makes sense. 12th house Cancer with my Capricorn moon. Yep. Danny, hello. I think I'm in my 1st house perfection now, but we'll move to 2nd house when I turn 38. When you turn 38, you will move to a 3rd house perfection year. So let me see if I can find, this is by not having prepared what I'm going to talk about today. We're going to have to spend a little time looking for a thing I want to show you. Meanwhile, look at Mala. If I could zoom in on him with my camera, I would do that so that you can experience him while I'm looking for stuff. I want to see, where do I have? Hold, please. Is this good hold music? All right, Profection, Profection, Bonnie, Profection, Annual Profections, Webinar Slides, whoop whoop. Oh yeah, I found them. That did not take long at all. All right, so for not having anything prepared, this actually worked out well. I know I'm not sharing my screen right now, so let me do that right quick. And thank you, Mala, for being super cute while I was playing the hold music. All right, y'all. So this is from the webinar. And so those are the houses. Take a screen grab of that if you want. Okay. So the bosses. Those are the planets that rule all the things. And then the houses. Get all these, take these screen grabs now. And here are the perfection patterns. Take a screen grab of that. So if you are turning 38, Danny, you are moving into a third house perfection year. And I know where this got hiccuped, probably. We forget that we start with 0. First house starts with 0 rather than starting with a 1. Because it's the age where we're from birth to first birthday that's in that first house. Okay. And then these are the rules to remember. Take a screen grab of that. I think today I would not use this font because even though it does kind of look like handwriting and it kind of looks like my handwriting, it is a little challenging to read on a slide. Okay, so then in the rest, this is why you go do the webinar, because I've got like this whole, we do this like how is your moon, how's your Mercury, how's your Venus, how's your Sun, how's your Mars, how's your Jupiter, how's your Saturn, and so there you will get to know like how things are going. And then, oh my goodness gracious, I do so secret shortcut. Oh my gosh, look at I have so many slides in here. Okay, go to the webinar. Go to the webinar and experience the whole thing. But yeah, so there's that. Does that help? We need to get you a second camera for Mala Camp. Okay, so I do have a second camera that's my overhead, like my cooking class camera for when I'm doing Use Your Moons. And it's my overhead of my hands doing the coloring of the calendar. So I already have the second camera. So we need a third. We need Mala Camp. Oh, come on with that cuteness. I just can't with how cute he is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If I looked at the chart correctly, I will be in a 4th house perfection year in a couple of weeks. Jupiter natally in Pisces. Okay, so you are going to be in a Pisces ruled 4th house year. Am I getting you right, Rain? Your 4th house is where you have Pisces, and natally you have Jupiter there, which means Jupiter as the ruler of your 4th house perfection year is in the 4th house, like, so that's lots of energy there. By the way, that is very true. If you are having any house perfection year, but using this as an example, great. If you are in a 4th house perfection year and your 4th house is Pisces, which means your year is going to be ruled by Jupiter, and your natal Jupiter is in that 4th house, that means you are really going to be experiencing that Jupiter rulership energy in that Pisces ruled year. So you're in that Pisces year of 4th house. Jupiter is already there natally. And then we also want to look at where is Jupiter out in the woo weather of the now. And so if this is going to be happening for you in a couple of weeks, what that's going to do is allow you to have a couple of months, 6 weeks of 6 weeks? Yeah, 7 weeks of Jupiter in Cancer, which is the Beyonce placement for Jupiter. And then the rest of your year of perfection will be while Jupiter is in Leo, doing all that exposing of what is actually really true. And we all need a whole bunch of that. But that can be uncomfortable for Sagittarius rising. Why you got to show me what's true? Why is it relevant what's true? The question is it a good story? Okay, I can't with this dog. You have your bed and you prefer that pillow pile? Oh my God, you're just so cute. I can't. I can't with this dog. Oh my God, he saves my life every day. I love him so much. I love my dog so much. First house perfection year, 36. Aquarius, first house perfection year, 36 years old. Yes, Holly. Just got done with 2 Saturn ruled years. I'm so sorry. Those back-to-back Saturn ruled years are so rude. So rude. So rude. I know. Oh, hang on. I just found out why all the, why I had so many slides. Look at this. I'm going to share these. These are from my Instagram, my Chart Harmony Instagram, my poor Instagram that I've just completely abandoned. Do y'all Instagram anymore? Because I can't with that. I just can't. I'm putting my energy on YouTube. Okay. Here, if you have Aries rising, there, I just told you your ruler for every year of your life up to age 107. You're welcome. Now we're going to do Taurus. All right, Taurus. This is Taurus rising. Take a screen grab of that. But see, look, those 2 back-to-back Saturn years, no matter what our rising is, we have to go through 2 back-to-back Saturn years. Here's Gemini rising. And so here we're going, like Mercury's ruled me, the moon's ruled me, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Daddy Saturn. And then we're like, Daddy Saturn again? Yeah, rude, I know. And then Jupiter. Boy, does that Jupiter ruled year feel like a freaking holiday after that, though. And then Mars, and then Venus. And we don't have to do Saturn ruled years again for a decade. Okay, here's Cancer rising. Take screen grab of this. Get these. Get Leo rising. Screen grab. If you've got Leo rising, this is your map. These are your dates. These are your rulers. And then Virgo rising. Libra rising. Who's she? That me. Ooh, yes. Ooh, that 8th house perfection year. I feel you. I'm really looking forward to my 9th house perfection year. I need some Mercury rule. All right, here's Scorpio. Scorpio rising. Scorpio rising going, why you got to put my business out there? Take this screen down. Don't show people my notes. All right, Scorpio rising. Here we go, Sagittarius rising. Make it a good story. Sagittarius rising, always, always. Here's Capricorn rising. You start off your life on a double Saturn rule. Look at that. Oh, you start your life ruled by Saturn, boom, boom. I'm telling you, those 2 back to back. The truth of it is, though, the Capricorn Saturn ruled year is much harder than the Aquarius Saturn ruled year. Because that one's a little more like, I get it. I understand the system and I understand the point of a system. And also, let's break some rules. The reason we know the rules is so we can break them. Aquarius rising, speaking of. So Aquarius rising starts out life with 1 Saturn ruled year and then doesn't get another one until all the way at the 12th house, but then does have that back-to-back Saturn rule from 12th house to 1st house, because even though they are listed like this linearly, we know that it actually happens in a circle. And then finally, our Pisces rising. I got you. Take a screen grab of that if you're Pisces rising, because that is your map to how the perfections will lay out in your life. Oh, I'm so glad I kept scrolling to see. I was like, why do I have 47 slides when the thank you for joining me slide is page 34? I'm like, what else is in here? But I had to get it off camera before I scrolled it, because it could be, it could be something. Yeah. The Aquarius first house perfection year, 36. And oh my God, the pillow pile. He has no business being that cute. I know. And then just the door opened, so Keith is home. And I'm sure you cannot hear him barking because my microphone is really good at not picking up other sounds. But Mala has run to greet Daddy and then to get outside and yell at Mala is really into community policing. That's his favorite thing to do right now. He is 3. His birthday is June 1st. He is a Gemini. And so he will be going into his 4th house perfection year because he will be turning 4. He'll be turning 4. No, he'll be turning 4, so he'll be going into his 5th house perfection year. See, I did it too. I know, he's so cute. What else do you want to talk about, y'all? We ended up talking about perfections quite a bit, which I'm not mad at, because that's, like I said, it's been on my list of things that I would like to do a live stream about anyway. I would still not consider this the perfections about the perfections. I still would not consider this the live stream about perfections, because I didn't like present as much as I just was like, let's throw you in the hot seat and talk about some of it. But go watch that webinar. I present there. But what else? You got questions? Do you need anything? What can I do for you here on this gorgeous Friday, May 8th of 2026? What else are we going to be doing in the future? Yes, I mentioned we're going to do Chiron moving into Taurus. We're going to do the lunar nodes shifting out of Pisces Virgo and into Aquarius Leo. That will affect the eclipses for the next year and a half. And that's a big shift that's coming up in July. July of 2026 is a lot. Oh, and then I'll also be doing a live stream about Jupiter moving into Leo. What else? I might have to look at this chart, his chart. Never, wait, okay, back up. Wait. You made me think of something. Does this work for dogs too? My Rocky was 5 last year and all of a sudden developed storm anxiety. Never had it before. He's petrified of storms now. Might have to look at his chart. Yep. Uranus squaring the nodes till they change signs. Boy, that ain't cute. Yeah, let's talk about that. So yes is the answer to the question, can you look at the birth chart of your pets? Absolutely. And you can look in your natal chart for where pets show up. So either way, if you're like, I don't actually know my pet's chart, I just know, like in my case, I know Mala is a Gemini with Cancer rising because with Moon in Cancer, dude, I know that Mala is a Gemini with Moon in Cancer because I can look at the woo weather for July 1st, 2022, and I can see that the moon was in Cancer the whole day. So he was born on the 1st. I don't know what time, and since I don't know what time, I do not have his rising sign. But I can still do a version of his chart where I either put the sun or the moon in the first house and do this, because you can absolutely do profections from the sect light. And so that would be the sun or the moon, depending on if you're a day chart or a night chart. And again, with him, I wouldn't know, but that would allow me to set the sun or the moon in the first house and do perfections from that. You can absolutely do that if you do not know a birth time. In fact, I include that in my slides. I got a whole, but what if I don't know what time I was born? I got a whole thing. No birth time, no problem. If you're not sure what time you were born, put your sun in the first house if you were born during daylight. Put your moon in the first house if you were born while it was dark out. And if you have no idea what time you were born, pick the luminary that feels most intriguing to you, coolest to you, whatever. Put it in the first house and on we go. You get to pick sun, moon, who's going to rule you. You get to pick if you don't know. This is what I do anytime I don't know the rising sign. Unless if we can get down to like within 2 or 3 rising signs because we know the birth time was somewhere around this window, I'm going to use some rectification techniques and interviewing to find out what is the most likely rising. But if you have no idea, this is the technique. So this is what I do with Mala, my dog. But yes, if your dog was in a perfection year that would put maybe some nervous energy, like they're in that year's focused was a sign that is typically very nervous or jittery, or if the ruler of that sign for that perfection year was in bad shape out in the woo weather, or like someone mentioned specifically, we've got Uranus squaring the nodes until the nodes shift, and that's going to be a whole shit show of energy. That is stuff that affects the nervous system. Let's look at that. So Uranus is over here at 0 degrees Gemini, not at all subtle. By the way, Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus, and one last assassination attempt on Cheeto in Chief was like, I'm going, oh, astrology, I love you so damn much. You are so exact. I love you so damn much. Anyway, and Uranus at that time was within orb of Algol, which is, of course, the off with their heads fixed star and the whole, the poetry of astrology. I love it so much. Anyway, Uranus in early degrees Gemini for a while, because Uranus is going to be in Gemini until 2033, right now is squaring the nodes. The nodes move backwards. And so right now the nodes are at 5 degrees of Virgo and Pisces, but they are moving smaller numbers. They're moving then to 4 degrees, 3 degrees. My nodal return, 2 degrees, 1 degree, 0 degree. So they are moving toward Uranus while Uranus is moving toward them. This would be what's called an applying aspect. And so we have the energy of pressure of that applying square. A square is a right angle. So that's a 90-degree meetup between these nodes, which are always directly across from one another, and this Uranus chaos maker. Uranus is the planet of where am I not free? Oh, they're cool. I'm going to come in and flip some tables. I'm going to create some chaos. I'm going to break some shit so that I can get free. So the good news is on the other end of Uranus transits, we have freedom that we didn't have before. The bad news is Uranus transits can feel like chaos, disruption. Sometimes disruption, very necessary. Sometimes disruption is exactly what the world needs. But it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. And the pressure that's happening with those nodes, which is where we have our eclipses, that is, Uranus is what's called at the bendings. So when something is squaring the nodes, it's at the bendings, and that is a very high pressure place for that planet to be. And so you can expect a lot of interesting features to come from all of that. And I think I'm gonna have to buy lots of extra popcorn for the show that is going to be put on by astrology the rest of 2026, but starting in July especially. We got the rest of May and June looking less chaotic. April definitely was stressful. April was so stressful. And July has some stressful looking features. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, take a look at your puppers chart and take a look at your 6th house for where your puppers is in your chart and see if that lines up with some of what has been going on by perfection. And better still, when it gets to your dog's next birthday or yours, does the anxiety stop? Does it just get turned off like a light switch where you're just like, where did that go? We just had a storm and you are so chill, and I haven't seen that version of you since a year ago, more than a year ago. Then we go, yep, he was just doing the astrology of that house, of that ruler, of that situation. I know. Yeah. Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you. You're the best. No, you. You're the best. Last call for questions. I'm so glad I didn't cancel today. Because when I realized, oh my God, I have not scheduled the live stream. I have not made a thumbnail for the live stream. I have not even picked a damn topic for the live stream. I should just cancel it. And then I went, no, you canceled a live stream when you were sick in April. I was sick like all of April. I had a fever for 10 days. And when I finally sacked up and went to urgent care, did you go outside with Daddy? Did you? Are you so happy? Urgent care turned me away. They said, oh, your Obamacare shifted the group that you're in, and we don't cover that group anymore, so you can't come to urgent care. And I go, okay, so I've had a fever for 10 days. What do I do? I can't get in to see my general practitioner for a month because, healthcare. So what do I do? And they said, well, if your fever gets up to 102, go to the emergency room. And I'm like, I can go to the emergency room for a fever. And they're like, well, if it's 102 and you've had 100.7 for 10 days, you should. And I'm like, it was the most Aries stellium, and nothing else was wrong. I had no sore throat. I had nothing coming out of any orifices that were concerning. I just had a fever and felt like a used tissue for 2 weeks. It was great. But then I was able to get into a Quest Lab, which I sometimes call Quest Love. I was able to get into Quest Lab, and get a urinalysis, and then get a prescription for some antibiotics that they weren't sure was going to work. They were like, we actually need to give you the kind that gets injected like into your veins, like because none of the oral antibiotics are helping with whatever it is that you have. So we need to actually do like big injections every day for like 5 days or whatever. And none of your healthcare covers a nurse coming to your home or you coming to us every day to get it in and so my teledoc goes, well, do you want to try like injecting your own antibiotics? I'm like, no, I really don't. Subcutaneous injections, yes, of course I can do that. That's easy, I can do that. But no. No, that is not a level of phlebotomy that I am interested in. But thanks. Also, very 8th house. Okay. Yes, thank you. I am taking care of myself, and I'm glad I showed up today. It was definitely fun for me. And we're at the hour, so we're going to call it done. Something happening in July, the week of the 4th, chaos. Yeah, the first week of July is don't travel, don't go do stuff if you can help it. That first week of July. Yeah, it's got a lot of extra energy. Yeah, but you know, we got to live our lives. We got to live our lives. So that's kind of my deal with astrology is like, let's pay attention to it enough so we know whether or not to take an umbrella because of rain, or if it causes you anxiety to keep up with what's going on astrologically, stop keeping up with it. Like, don't torture yourself. Sometimes it's not better to keep hitting reload and checking to see, is the rain going to stop? Is the rain going to stop? Like, it's it's going to rain. It's going to rain. No travel to big cities. Yeah, for real. Also curious, read potential chart harmony and or the current astro weather. Is anyone else feeling the dichotomy of wanting to be seen but also don't want to be perceived? For real. Emily, yeah. I know you come by our Discord every now and then, but this has been a conversation we've been having specifically in the Live Your Chart area of Discord, which I know is a members only area. You may want to pop in to Live Your Chart membership for a little while to just like be in that collective of, is this real? Am I experiencing this? Is this happening? How about this? Like, because yes, that is happening a lot, but also in Discord, feel free to start that conversation anywhere. Because it's very much the combination of, I really want to be counted. I want to be included in the movement that I know so needs me and my energy. And also, oh my God, it is so fucking vulnerable to be fully seen, fully known, fully perceived. I kind of think, though, we're going over the hour. Don't sweat it. I kind of think some of that has to do with the end of patriarchal times and the shift to a more, and pardon the gender binary, but the shift to a more feminine, female, non-male led energy. I think as we shift into more of a collective nurturing and a place where that level of vulnerability is not attacked or seen as something that can be trafficked or fill in the blank for all the evils that befall the fairer sex, that there instead is a respect for that energy and that community support that really doesn't exist in the masculine to the same degree. I think those of us who are feeling that uneasiness are straddling that where we've always been as a human experience and where we're about to go and how that's going to feel. And being in both of those places simultaneously is really challenging on the nervous system. But that's my guess about what's happening. And those of us that are feeling like I'm half in one world, half in another world, and let's be more honest, third in one world, third in another world, and third in I don't know where the hell I am or what timeline I'm on. So legit, if it's feeling like that, yeah, that checks out. That is something that a lot of woo leaders are experiencing and talking about. So yeah, we need it bad. We do. Multidimensional, and it's not just multidimensional existence. It's multidimensional existentialism. That's what's going on right now. And with that, Mala Beads, he says, that's too deep. What do you have there? Okay, I was just checking. I don't mind that you bring a treat, but I want to know what you're doing on my furniture when you have your bed right there to do it in. Anyway, just caught up. Yes, third house perfection. You when I turned 38, Gemini. Okay, good job, Danny. Awesome. All right, I love y'all so much. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you. Those of you watching in replay, hey, replay crew, please drop me a comment. Ask me about your perfection situation or anything else. And if you've got any requests, I was going to use the new voting thing that they have in the chat. There's a new feature where I can start a poll and get y'all to vote on a thing during the live. And I'm not going to do that now because we've gone over an hour and I'm going to be done. But I will remind myself that next time I can do that because it's a cool new YouTube feature that just rolled out. Okay, you are absolutely welcome. It is my pleasure. Drop me a comment. Those of you watching the replay, thank you so much. Those of you here with me live, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. Give yourselves lots of love, lots of understanding for the Aquarius moon that we're in right now that just climbed over Pluto. You may not sleep much this weekend. That's okay. We got a lot of void moons in May. Use those big, long void moons as an opportunity to get some of the rest that is going to be challenging to get in normal times. All right. Love you, beautiful people. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time. Go to bonniegillespie.com/events for when that will be. Bye.